My name is Tim Richardson. I'm the professor teaching this course, C44. Now what I'm going to do right now is just do a little screen capture online showing you the most important parts of what we're going to be doing for the next 3.5 months.
Hi, this is Tim Richardson here, just going to talk about the introduction to MGTC44. Easiest way to find the course, just go to Google, type in MGTC44. Ranks #1 in the world, if you didn't know my domain name. So here we go. There's the main web page for the course. Goes down here with all kinds of stuff, and I'm just going to show you a couple things about what we need to know in the beginning. There's typical information about the grading structure here, which explains that basically we have 2 tests, a minor test and a midterm, and then this big huge team project presentation plus class participation. We'll talk about that in future classes. These are the topics. This is kind of like an online textbook. Each one of these little blue links is a hyperlink to a whole unit. So for example, you click here where it says WTO, and this goes on for a number of different pages all about the WTO, things you need to know. Some of it includes videos. For example, this is an interview that I did on CBC News talking about the WTO. This is an article in Maclean's magazine quoting me about the WTO. So that's what these little links are about. Right here there'll be a screen capture talking about the introduction to the course for September 2010, right in this little space, which is what I'm doing right now. Now this little section here says introduction for September 15th. You see where it says in red letters 15th. What I do is I tell the students each one of these links what we're going to talk about for the future. So these ones, May, June, they're for the summer that just passed when I taught the course in the summer. And they told the students that political environment, we did that May 17th, that I updated it June 11th, that we're going to do this stuff in the future, and so on. So this helps the students know exactly what topics we're going to talk about when. So the first thing we're going to do is have an introduction to overall international business. And this is a unit talking about international business in general, the importance of the understanding the 6 environments, some things about Canadian geography and distance and so on, which is important to read through. I'll probably just go through that very briefly the first night. Then we'll talk a little bit about some of the basics of Canada's major trading partners. We'll talk a bit about Japan, the United States, and China. And these are some diagrams and little pie charts which give us a bit of an up-to-date about that. We'll also talk about some of the top Canadian companies involved in international business so you can know to hit on when you graduate. 6 environments. The 4 P's and the 6 environments are the fundamentals of a business marketing education. Of course, you know the 4 P's, product, price, promotion, place, and the 6 environments, as you can see here. One of the ones that few profs talk about much is the geographic environment. That's weather, time zones, distance, number of days of sunlight, cold weather, all kinds of things like that. That's a big effect on international business. This is a rather large unit. I now encourage you to take your time to go through that. This is a little video on YouTube talking about it. One of the ways that you can earn class participation marks is looking at the YouTube video and then making comments on YouTube. Then we'll have the next class to talk about the physical geographic environment in more detail and some things about weather extremes. And there's a number of videos in here which you can look at which discuss that. We'll also talk about things to do with the cultural environment as well as the influences of Canadian culture. And this is kind of interesting because many students over the years wanted to represent their culture or the country they came from. So we've got a big, huge list of all the different countries, everything from China, Philippines, Australia, Sri Lanka, Iraq, and so on and so on. And students have commented on basically things you need to know in X country culture to be able to successfully do business in that area. So if you're from Panama and you wanted to add on to some information here about Panama, you can send me an email and do that. That's another way you can earn class participation marks in this course. These dates at the bottom roughly represent when we're going to do this work. So this is for the first part of September. This row of topics will be the second part of September and early October. This will be October. This will be November, and this will be maybe the last week in November and the first week of December. In addition, We also have some additional commentary and information about previous students, some tips about reading the newspaper on a regular basis, which is a very important part of being successful in this course. We also further have some testimonials from former students that took this course, which some of you might find kind of interesting. And down here in the menu bar, we have a number of things, such as my teaching schedule, so you can know where I am if you wanted to email me or ask me a question. As you can see here, I don't have a class before this one, so I'm often come to class early and hanging around if you wanted to ask me something. I'm also back on campus Thursday morning for the e-commerce class between 9 and 11. That's up on the 3rd floor. Also on that menu bar is my contact information. If you wanted to contact me, my email address is simply richardson@utsc. There's the telephone number in the 3rd floor teacher's office. If you wanted to call before class to see if I'm up there, there's my telephone and extension number at Seneca College, where I also have an office. Other things that may be of interest to you, here's a link to former students in all my courses that testified and sent in little videos and commentary about different things, which is kind of interesting. This is student contributors. Now, students can earn class participation marks not just by sending in emails, but also by making little videos or other types of a commentary, or in addition to the conventional things of raising your hand in class. And this is a long, long list of examples of students who've earned class participation / contribution marks in the past, and you could look at that. This is a large tips page, which includes not only tips about earning class participation marks, but assignments, secret weapons for reading the newspaper and studying, also writing carefully on quizzes and tests, the physical appearance and layout of projects using mature language. If you're going to do presentations, I've got a fantastic kick-ass webpage on making presentations, even an outtakes and bloopers reel, and so on. So that's a very quick introduction to MGTC44. I hope you find that useful.